in helping the service committee make phone calls to some of our members who have not attended recently. We want to stay in touch with those people, see if there's anything they may need help with. And I was just checking the chat room or chats. Last announcement, I put it in yesterday's email. United Way has a program called Warm Line. And what they're doing is having volunteers reach out to people in the community that have been somewhat disconnected, and just having some conversations with them, and or if you know of somebody that might benefit from one of those phone calls, I think they would like that input too. And that information was in yesterday's email. I think that covers what I wanted to do in announcements, and I am going to kick it over to Larry. And Larry, I don't know, I think you had 2 out of 3. So anyway, if you want to unmute and kind of give a little bit of background on our program.
Absolutely. Well, now, as always with live shows, it appears to me that Patty and Jimmy are on. At least I saw him earlier. And Rocky has been texting me directly and saying, "Where are these other guys?" But our program today are 3 comics who I have known for many years. They are from Chicago, and they are part of a troupe that call themselves Chicago Comedy All-Stars. Their website, which has been made known to you, and certainly you can look after this program, is chicagocomedyallstars.com. Introducing the 3 of them, Jimmy McHugh. Jimmy has made appearances in comedy clubs in Chicago and nationwide. He's also been seen on Comedy Central, HBO, MTV, ESPN2, and the Oprah Winfrey Show. Jimmy is a Paul Harris Fellow. It was bestowed upon him by the Rotary Club of Charleston, Mattoon, Illinois, for his benefit concerts for the club. And I used to introduce him by saying Jimmy is the most expensive comic in his price range. Rocky Laporte. Rocky has done numerous television shows such as Cheers, Pat Sajak, Comic Strip Live, a CBS pilot titled The Rocky Laporte Show, and his very own half-hour comedy special on Comedy Central. I know he also does podcasts now. Rocky has also performed for our troops in Iraq and has also done an enormous amount of charity work for St. Jude, the NFL charities, homeless shelters, and cancer research, as well as police and fire department fundraisers. And finally, Patty Vasquez. This is her introduction. She is a Chicago native, is a radio host in Chicago, and guest stars right now on NBC's Chicago Fire as Nurse Ryan. All 3 comics have appeared live together at the Topeka Performing Arts Center in the past. And at this point, I turn the program over to, before I do, please mute if you haven't already. And if you do know how to do view, hit the speaker view, because this way you'll see, rather than the gallery, you'll see the person who is performing. I turn the program over now to Patty Vasquez.
Thank you so much, Larry. And it's great to see everyone, even though it's not in person. We look forward to having that opportunity to gather with you. Comics, as you must imagine, really thrive off the energy of our audiences. So keeping you on mute is completely antithesis to the way we do comedy. It's contrary to the way we've really developed our career. So I do want to try this. If everyone could raise their hands and go like this and wave your hands like that, when you want to clap, that's how you clap in sign language. So if you like something and you want to let us know, you can go like that. I know a lot of people have been using like chat and like a wave and things like that. But if you like something, you can let us know. Well, one, you can also laugh very heartily, like that works. So we're really there. Thank you. See, Larry is an excellent demonstrator. Thank you, Larry. It reminds me of even doing that reminds me of flying, which I kind of miss. But because I'm such a bargain hunter, I don't miss trying to find those cheap flights. I always ended up, no matter how much I knew it wasn't a good idea, I would still try to buy tickets on Spirit Airlines, which I knew was wrong. If you've ever flown with Spirit, you know the second you walk on that plane that something is wrong when the seats don't even match each other. They're like Frankenplanes, and they charge for everything. I get charging for the check bag, but they also charge for the carry-on bag, for both sides of the seatbelt, for a safe landing. It's not okay. You shouldn't have the pilot coming around and passing around his hat. You want it to be bumpy or you want it to be smooth? How's this going to go? I knew the first time I flew, I realized why they call it Spirit Airlines, because when the flight attendant comes on and does the instructions, she's like, in case of emergency, we're all going to die. I feel like some of you have flown on Spirit. If you have, this will sound very familiar to you. When the plane pushes away from the jetway, this is how it sounds. That is a plane that doubts itself. That is a plane that is telling you exactly how it feels. We're not gonna make it. Don't make me go. I hope we don't have any investors in Spirit Airlines. I think that we all look forward to doing so many of the traditional things, whether it's, hanging out together in bars and restaurants and birthday parties and all the celebrations. And for many of us, we just want to have a conversation with somebody else that isn't in their house. I'm sure that I try to make sure that the doors are closed. Right, Grace? It's like, okay, we've rotated. We have got to that point in our look. I have been with the same man for 25 years and I love him. Things have changed over the course of our relationship. We've gone through a lot. We've survived a lot. We will make it through this. But to be fair, my husband was a stay-at-home dad before this. So it's like for him, it's like different day. And for me, it's I got to hang out with you guys. And and besides, when I married him, the deal was he had a great job with benefits. And then he lost that job. And I hate saying he lost it because he knows exactly where it is. They just won't let him get to it. When he proposed, I was so excited because I didn't have health insurance. I was like, do you have dental? Because I feel a cavity coming on. And that's the thing, is that we all, are in this together in so many different ways. And what I've come to understand is that we have to meet each other where we are. And that's why we're so happy to be with you today. I know it's cold where you are. We have snow, but we're all gathering in the best we can. And I'm so excited to share the comedians that I'm going to introduce today. I've been friends with them my entire career. Our next comedian is one of the founding members of the Chicago Comedy All-Stars. You've seen him right there in Kansas when we performed there, and he's traveled all over the country. He's a nationally touring headliner, except for now. Now he's on your Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jim McHugh.
Hello, Patty. How about a nice round of applause for Patty Vasquez and doing everything we need to do to get things going. I'm still trying to figure out this Zoom stuff. It's been a little while. The last time, actually, Patty, myself, and Rocky had performed was not quite a year ago in March. So we've had a little time on our hands. So for the people, at home, and obviously if you're in your office or you're at home, I need to catch up with you folks, okay? Because it's been a while. So how was your St. Patty's Day? That's really what I want to know. Because it's been a while. So your St. Patty's Day go okay? Is it big in Topeka? It's huge in Chicago. So that was really the last holiday we actually had. All the other ones have just kind of melded together. I really don't know what, holidays we're even having anymore. I mean, every day's a holiday, is it not? And we're all running around the house. Here's one thing we found out. I found out a number of things during the pandemic that I'd like to share with you. It's really easy to fall into bad habits when you're suffering through a pandemic. Like a bad habit that I've gotten into recently over the last few months is eating I find that eating is becoming a bad habit because I do it more often than I probably ever have. And it's not easy to work off the weight. And you could get a Peloton, and I got a bike. Yeah, you know what? Eating's a lot of fun. It's unfortunately have some healthy back things to it. But nonetheless, we're all trying to make it. You know, I'm in front of my fireplace about to burst into flames here, but we're having a fun time with you folks. And a number of other things that I have found out because of the pandemic. We've been binge watching things. We binge watch stuff. And also that leads to binge eating, which is bad. One of the worst foods that I have found during the course of my in-at-home nature is cheddar cheese popcorn. It is like the crack of popcorn. I don't know what it is. I can't stop eating it. And if you cannot have a bag and share it, there's no way to share a bag of cheddar cheese popcorn. It's yours. If you buy it, it's yours. And plus, once your hands get all full of that stuff, no one else wants to go in there anyway. So eating way too much cheese, cheddar cheese popcorn, it needs to be outlawed. I'm telling you, it's like crack. Another thing that's really gotten on my nerve, and I'm not sure how many people have a tricked out situation at home with your stereo and television, and everybody's got, you know, here I have a 50-inch screen TV over here to my left, but yet I'm looking at a TV screen on my phone, which is like 8 inches. I don't understand quite how this works, but it does. But here's the thing that's got me really steamed. Now, we're all watching Netflix, right? We're watching Netflix. Everybody's got Netflix. Could they make that stupid little end thing when it stops and it goes like that little boom, boom? Couldn't they make that a little louder, please? Because it scares the bejesus out of me every time it comes on when I'm trying to watch a show. And it scares the bejesus every time that little end starts going away, and I'm waiting, and I can't get to the remote control fast enough in order to mute the thing or turn it down. And it always wakes up half the house. What are you doing? Well, watch them Netflix. You heard the darn thing, didn't you? Dun dun. Yeah, Netflix they gotta get rid of that. You know, I'm already paying for it. Can we get rid of the little, you know, scare the bejesus out of you end thing when it goes away so I can watch my binge watch, you know, whatever it is I'm watching. I'm just tired of watching television, tired of watching everything. And we're watching too much sports. Well, thank God we got sports. I know the people down in Topeka, I'm sure you're rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be in the Super Bowl for a second time. They have a wonderful team. Unfortunately, Larry and I were polar ends of the spectrum. Larry's a Buffalo Bills fan. He's from Buffalo, New York. I am living in Chicago. For some apparent reason, I became a Green Bay Packer fan. Don't know why, but I did spend a lot of time up there with my dad. A lot of great memories. But now the Packers are out, and now, you know, the Bills are out. So now I guess I'm rooting for Kansas City again. So that's what we're going to go for. But I think they need to make sports harder. A lot of them, like baseball, got to make baseball harder. Too easy. Too easy. Big trees in the outfield. And I'm telling you, you're going to have something there. Big trees, big oaks. Because you know you'd pay 50, 60 bucks to watch a guy run full steam into an oak. That's just entertainment in my book. Other sports you got to make harder. Skiing, downhill skiing. The trick is really uphill. I don't know why they haven't done that. That's where the, you know, gravity's going to take you down. Try going up. That's where there's talent. Another sport, unfortunately, I've gotten more involved with. I don't understand how I did. Maybe because I was out, you know, late, just watching TV and drinking and whatever. Curling. Are you watching curling? Have you watched curling at all? It's not one of those things you should do unless you've had a six-pack, because it's really the slow death of any sport. And how do you get to be that person with the broom? That's what I want to know. The broom sweeper. Do you just show up late for practice one day and like, hey, here's the broom? Oh, come on. I'm only 2 minutes late. And you're just sweeping all the time. You got to know that person's house is never clean, ever. Because I sweep all day at the ice rink. I am not sweeping at home. Not doing it. Sports control our lives. It's just crazy how sports. Basketball, another sport that's picking up again. They're playing sports with basketball. I'd make basketball harder. These guys make a lot of money. First thing I do, I would wax the floors really, really well. Then you take away their shoes and you just make them wear big woolly socks. And then you put a few well-placed end tables out there with nice sharp corners, right? Did you ever see a little kid wipe out on a wax floor and bang his head on an end table? It's really funny. You got to watch it. You got to do that kind of stuff. Sports control our lives. Dogs in sports, a cruel thing. It's dog sled day of all things today. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Dog sled day. Do you really think those dogs want to do that dog sledding thing? Some people think, oh, they're bred for that. I beg to differ. They just fall for it. Just another day for the dog. You know how it is being a dog. They're just hanging out. Come on, Sparky, let's go out. Oh, okay. Come on, let's go out. Then they go outside and they're running for 9 days. They're like, hey, what's this all about? We just thought we were going out. We're running. They don't want to do that. That's cruelty to animals. That's what I think. Just like the Cubs. The Cubs are cruelty to sports fans. And they're goofing us up again. They're goofing us up again. They're giving away the whole team. I think we got a bag of balls for you, Darvish. I don't quite get it. But we look forward to coming down to Topeka and spending some time with you folks. Thanks very much to the Rotarians. I've had a wonderful time entertaining, and Patty's been involved, Rocky's been involved with the charity we help support down in Charleston, Mattoon, Illinois. And we look forward to coming to your town in Topeka and the beautiful Performing Arts Center there and helping you guys raise some money for the YMCA and the other projects that you guys do. Thank you very much. Love you guys and look forward to seeing you down the road.
Jimmy McHugh, we really do look forward to joining with you again. And I'm so glad that you guys are staying connected and really committing to the work that you do in the community. And as Jim mentioned about sports, I immediately flashed to how important, the little league teams and all the football leagues and how we're really trying to make sure our kids feel supported through all of this. So I know that that's a lot of the work that people are doing in communities across the country. I was a little league player. I was the only girl on my team. I wasn't very good. Every time we had a game, they wouldn't tell me. So that's fine. I'm fine. I've totally recovered. I don't remember anything from when I was 9 years old. And my dad always felt bad because he loved baseball, wanted to teach me everything he knew. Like he would take me out and just hit fly ball after fly ball after fly ball at me. And one day I go, Daddy, I'm tired of chasing this ball. And he goes, all right, then catch one. So that's how I was raised in baseball. I am so thrilled to work with both of these guys. Jimmy and I have been friends for a long time, and so is our next comedian. Rocky has performed all over the country. I don't know if this was mentioned in Larry's intro, but he got a standing ovation when he was on The Tonight Show. As Larry mentioned, he's traveled all over the world, performed for the troops, and has been a nationally touring headliner as well. Please welcome Rocky Laporte.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you, Pat. Give Patty a nice hand there, huh? Yay. I remember the last time we came to Topeka when we rented a car, and the guy goes, listen, he goes, you pick the car up Friday, and when you drop it off Saturday, it'll have a full tank. And I'm thinking, man, that's good gas mileage. And I remember when we landed in the airport, they had a magazine over there, and it honestly said this. It said 50 things your 2-year-old should know. Folks, I don't even know 50 things. How am I supposed to teach little Jimmy these? I got maybe like 5-10 off the top of my head, It's been weird since the pandemic. I finally went to the doctor, just to get a checkup, and don't you hate going to the doctor? Every time you go, they make you fill out those stupid forms, right? They go, who should we notify in case of an emergency? I'm like, how about the doctor? How about that? There's a good place to start. And they're like, no, we mean like a parent. What are my parents going to do? They're like, Mrs. Laporte, your son's been in an accident. She's like, give him ice cream. He really likes ice cream. They're asking my mother for medical advice. Like she knows what's going on. Was he a hemophiliac? She's like, no, we're Italian. That's the stuff they ask you. Come on, I want to see some hands there, lady. Let's go. Guys, my last audience sued me for pain and suffering. So you guys, come on. Yeah, but I just hate going to the doctor. They always ask stupid questions, They go, you got a big family? I'm like, my dad's kind of fat. Where's this going? Then they always ask you for closest living relative. And I'm like, from here or my house? I put 4 miles. That's good, right? And then they put living. We're going to contact one of my dead relatives. The guy's leaving. I got people walking out. That's how good it's going. Come back. We had this big ice storm here in Chicago, and I was throwing out the garbage, you know, and I'm walking out in the driveway and I go flying up in the air and I land on my back. I messed up my back on the ice. And I called the doctor up. You know what he tells me to do? Ice it. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? That's what I could have just stayed laying in the driveway 3 times a day for 20 minutes. One time I got knocked out. He goes, how long were you knocked out for? I'm like, I don't know. I was knocked out. Who times that? You know, you wake up, you're like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I don't have the knocked out app on my iPhone 1. You ever go up there for an exam and you know, you're sitting in that room and you're naked and he comes in, he's like, put your clothes back on. I'm an eye doctor. Come on, huh? If I had $1 every time that happened. Folks, is this on? Come on, let's go. I was when this pandemic hit, I'm almost done, folks. Hang in there. When this pandemic hit, I was in Vegas. Have you guys been to Vegas? Show of hands. Come on, let's go. I don't know if I told my friend, I go, I want to see something different, like get me off the strip. You know where he takes me? We went to the Las Vegas Zoo. Have you ever been in there? They got like 4 birds and a squirrel. I'm not even kidding. They don't even have good animals. There was like a lizard or something ran by. I'm like, what the hell's that? The guy goes, that's not ours. You believe that? Yeah. He goes, you see the bird exhibit? I'm like, yes, that's a nice duck. It was like 2 guys got together and they're like, hey, I got a dog. You got a bird. Let's have a zoo. Then they charged me to get in there. It was like $5. It comes out to like $1 an animal. I'm not even making this up, folks. Thank you for those 2 hands. They had a sign in the bathroom. It said no smoking or eating. Who the hell's going to eat in the bathroom at a zoo? You know, you're like, hey, the zoo don't smell bad enough. Let's get a snack in the John. And whose job is it to go in there and check on that, you know? The guy's like, hey, Jimmy, when you're done feeding the duck, go in the bathroom, make sure nobody's eating in there, will you? People, am I almost done? People are crazy around animals. You ever notice? You ever see that show when animals attack? Nod your head, folks. Yeah, they should call it when stupid people get bit. You know that? They'll do anything to get close. The guy's like, hey, honey, I'm going to put ham in my pants and go sit by a lion. Take some pictures. I don't know. Thank you, Jimmy. I got 1 people rolling there. Folks, I'm excited. I just had my big GED reunion. It was me and this guy, Louie. I was really excited about that. I actually skipped a grade. I went from 5th to 3rd. I wish I was making this up. One time on my report card, anybody get an F here? Anybody ever get an F? Raise your hand if you ever got an F. Yeah? I'm not even making this up. 2 times, I got an F minus. Do you believe that? Yeah, that's hard to do. It's like you failed and then some. Yeah. My teacher told me, I think you have trouble comprehending. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Folks, you ever talk to somebody and their breath's so bad you can't even pay attention to what they're saying? They're happening. You're trying to figure out what they ate. You're like, what'd you eat? A squirrel or something like that? You know, and they never want any gum. You go, hey, you want some gum? And they're like, no. And you're like, oh, crap. I go, would you mind if I shove some up my nose? Would that be okay? You ever try to give them a hint? You go, you want to have some fun? Let's go brush our teeth. All right, you guys, thank you for your time. And I hope you had fun because I enjoyed it. And I think 2 of you did. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Larry, did you want everyone to turn their mics back on, or do you want to? I wanted to just we were thinking about spending a couple minutes.
Absolutely. Please unmute because I have heard these comedians over the years. I have not heard any of this stuff. It's still funny. Please
Oh, thank you.
weigh in, make your comments, ask some questions. I know they're excited to be here. And at the same point, we hope that we can fashion some kind of an event that has Rotary in mind for a fun as well as a fundraiser. But please, let's open it up for questions. Unmute and have at it.
Should have been unmuted so he could hear us laughing.
I know. I know the thing we run into. We've done a lot of these shows. Because you're whether at work or sometimes we have people in the background, dogs, and we also it's harder for us to focus sometimes when there's a lot of different noises. It'll pull. Yeah. So thank you for that. But that's now and you're gonna be in a meeting, in a Zoom meeting, and do this, and people think that you're doing jazz hands.
Yeah.
Dancing.
The fun thing about Zoom meeting is you could do it and you don't have to have pants on. So there's that.
Stand.
That's awesome. We're not gonna take a roll call if you're wearing pants.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've all traveled for many years throughout our careers, and I actually when we were in Topeka, we had a very nice hotel, so thank you. Okay. Most of us we got like Motel 8s on the side of the road. What's the worst place you've ever stayed at, Rocky?
One guy, he goes, "Where are you staying?" I said, "I'm over at the Altima." He goes, "Is that a 4-star?" I go, "It's a 4-cylinder. I'm sleeping in my car."
Jimmy, I've been telling folks about how we used to stay in comedy condos where clubs would rent out an apartment. Do you have any? Do you miss those?
Oh yeah, like a root canal. I miss them. Remember the one time we're in one of the northern regions of Michigan, and the club owner was so nice that he put a padlock on the thermostat so you couldn't turn the heat up to make your. So what we ended up doing is we ended up turning on the oven, and we just had our feet by the oven. It was probably 55 degrees in the house. I mean, it was like 30 below. It was ridiculously cold. Those are the kind of fun. And another one, I think I had shards of glass hanging over my bed from some window that was cracked. It's always fun.
Yep. Yeah. It seems very glamorous. I know our lives seem very, carefree and on the road all the time, but no, but it's a fun career, and I'm always so grateful to have groups like yours. Did anybody want to ask anything? Is there any burning questions you've ever had for comedians?
Jim, when were you in Iraq?
Larry, Rocky.
Oh, I was in Iraq. I went there in 2003 and I believe 2006 or 7. I went over there twice. The first time I went with Drew Carey and Jeff Ross and the girl that played Mimi on the Drew Carey show. Mimi, Kathy Kenny. Yeah. And she said, the USO has been bringing you guys shows for years. In World War II, you had Betty Grable. In Vietnam, you had Raquel Welch. She goes, you guys get me. It was Mimi from the Drew Carey show. We did a show in Saddam Hussein's hometown. We're in Tikrit. This is a true story. And it was literally like 2 weeks before they caught him. And we're out in a huge soccer field. There's 5,000 troops. But the whole time we're on stage, we had to wear flak jackets and helmets. And all you hear is like gunfire and artillery fire. And you think it's bad here. I was just in Detroit for 2 weeks. And everybody, all the Michigan people booed, but everybody else liked it.
Well, Roger, I saw you there. I just want to say thanks.
Oh,
You're very welcome. I'm happy to do it. I was happy to do it.
SLI meeting, I think. Before.
Yeah, Karen, I just am curious who, all-time favorite comedian for each one of you, live or dead, besides yourself.
It's so funny because we are in a weird twist for me. Like I never thought I would work with the people that I've admired. But my favorite would probably be George Carlin. Is one of the biggest reasons I became a stand-up comic. Just his way with words and also cutting. He was also a philosopher. And living, I would say, is Lewis Black is not just an incredible comic to work with. See, this is why we didn't have your
Sorry.
mics on.
Exactly.
He's a really generous and kind man, and I've known him for over 20 years, and that's and like my friends Jim and Rocky, it's you find really incredible people in our industry. So those are my two. How about you guys, Rocky?
I was a big Rodney Dangerfield fan, and I liked Rodney and Bill Cosby before he started giving people pills. He was good back then before anybody knew he was a criminal. And I don't know, Kathleen Madigan I like. There's a guy named Greg Hahn that just, oh my God, that guy makes me laugh. He's out of his mind. There's just a lot of comics. They just make me laugh. And Patty and Jim are a couple of my favorites, and they're good people. Yeah. they're good friends of mine.
How about you, Jim?
Well, for me, it was, I had the pleasure, George Carlin, like all of us, we watched, and I had the pleasure of meeting him once, and he came into my show without me knowing it. He was done doing his show, and he came over, and he was in the back of the room, and little beknownst to me that he was in the room. So I get done doing my show and going back in the green room, and somebody pokes me in the back, and it's one of the waitresses. And I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, he steps in, and there's George Carlin. So one of my idols, got a chance to meet. He's very complimentary, and he just said, hey, if we're ever in the same town, just return the hello. He's just a very genuine guy, and to have a chance to meet your idol was phenomenal, because you looked at him from afar, and we were doing something certainly that he was integral in all of us getting on stage and making it look easy. It's certainly not a lot easy. It's not as easy as we hopefully make it look, or as hard as we make it look sometimes, I guess. So, yeah, and I'm an old school guy. I like the old school people. There was people making you laugh back in the day. From the Three Stooges to I like Bob Newhart a lot. So many characters, but Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Bob Newhart, all those guys.
Oh, the classics. Yeah.
Yep.
You
of
guys
course,
know.
Rodney and Patty. That's why we're all working together.
Yeah. I heard a good story. It's a true story. Brad Garrett, who plays the brother on Everybody Loves Raymond, the big guy, the tall guy. He plays Robert on Everybody Loves Raymond. Well, his act is it's not for everybody. Don Rickles was his idol. And Brad, he's like an insult comic. He was after people. Well, he was opening, it was his first time ever opening for Frank Sinatra in Vegas. And it was a New Year's Eve show. And Brad told me the audience, they were already bombed out of their minds, and they didn't want to see Brad. They were all there to see Frank Sinatra. And Brad said he was bombing so bad. He said he wasn't getting no laughs. Like the audience they didn't like him at all. And when he was getting off, he goes, hey, he goes, you guys might want to stick around. He goes, Frank's coming out, as a joke. Well, when he got backstage, I guess a couple heavies from the mob kind of got around. They go, what did you mean by that? They didn't understand that it was a joke, that they were there to see. Brad knew that. So Brad thought I was gonna get whacked. It took me a half hour to convince these guys. I was just trying to do a joke, get off on a laugh, not because I knew the audience wasn't there for me. They were there for Frank, I love those showbiz stories.
Oh God, yeah, I agree. Grace, did you want to ask a question?
Yes, I was just wondering how you prepare for something like today.
Well, it's funny. I was just telling, I think I told Rocky this, but I was telling Jim that I actually believe that our group of comedians are well suited because we have really a wealth of material that we've developed over the years and are able to sort of flip things in and out, because this obviously is a very unique situation, and at the same time incorporate newer material, which like Jim and Rocky, I saw, like Larry mentioned, I saw material I hadn't seen. So we have a certain comfort level with, regardless, we've had enough shows that have gone great, so we know what material works, and we've had enough shows that go badly that we can just keep going and smile regardless.
Thank you.
That's, of course. Jim, Rocky, how do you guys get ready?
I just put my hat on and talk.
And by our generation of comics, it's about, I would say, over 20 years or so, having done everything from, great comedy clubs that are packed or empty, and, great theaters like yours in Topeka, and picnics and backyards and, kids kicking the soccer balls around and the adults wanting to have a drink and listen to some dirty jokes. It's really the wide range.
And I think because we're a little bit seasoned, all of us, we're a lot cleaner, and it's good for us to do these things. 'Cause a lot of younger people coming up, they kind of don't have a grasp on what's clean and what's not clean yet,
Yeah,
So
true,
yeah,
true.
we don't want to
Yep.
we don't want to offend nobody, just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And
One
you're
of my worst shows that I had to do, I say worst, we've all had our share of bad times, but Patty mentioned we do sometimes you're doing picnics and stuff like that. There was one place up here in the Fox Lake region, and it's a big boating area. So they had a place where people would come and pull their boats up, come and have some food or drinks, and then they would get out and go. Well, they decided to have a comedy show in the back going towards the boats. Well, the microphone that I had wasn't very good. It was nighttime. The lighting was not very good. So it was just very poor execution. You're out there doing your best.
It's called Laughing Fish. I remember that gig. Go ahead.
So unfortunately, there wasn't many people in the crowd. I would say maybe 25, but one party was like 14. So they got up with about 15 minutes to go in my act, and they left. They said, well, sorry, it's nothing to do with you, but we have babysitters back and we got to get back. And so we just have to go. So they go and they walk down to the pier, which is about 100 yards away, and they get in their boat and they start pulling away. Well, their microphone on their boat was better than mine performing. So they start heckling me as they're pulling away in the boat. And I can't even heckle them back. That's how bad it was. When you get heckled by a boat that's leaving, that's never a good thing.
Yeah. That's bad.
That is bad.
I
Very
remember.
Stuck with me all these years.
So one
Go ahead,
of
Patty. I
you,
didn't mean to interrupt you.
one of
Go
you
ahead.
got a Paul Harris Award. That's a big deal.
Jimmy's
And,
wearing,
that's
Jimmy's
a really
wearing the
big deal.
pin.
Can you talk, is that Jim?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. I'm very, very honored to be awarded this. We've been involved with the Rotary down in Charleston, Mattoon, Illinois. And this goes back probably to 2020, or I'm sorry, 2000 or even before. What they do, their cause that they decided to champion was something called the Heart Scan program. And what they do is they bring in incoming sophomores to the region down there. That particular region has a lot of high schools that are fairly well spread around. And what they do is they offer them a free echocardiogram to see if there's any heart defects that are undetected by a normal physical. So what I've been doing, what we've been doing, the Chicago Comedy All-Stars, it's been over 20 years. We've been doing this fundraiser, and we've helped raise over $300,000 to augment the cost of getting these tests done.
Nice.
And they've actually saved lives. We've had a couple children. If you go to our website, there is, I might have it posted, but there is a video of one of the girls that was going in and had a diagnosis, and she wasn't able to play sports. But the bottom line is we saved her life, and that program, whether you save 1, 2, or whatever, we're raising funds and we're raising laughter and we're helping people. So yeah, very honored that they bestowed that Paul Harris Fellow on me, and we're going to continue to help them raise funds for the Heart Scan program.
Yay.
Very good.
Awesome. Terry, do you want to say something? And thank you for your kind words in the chat too.
Oh, yes, it's been wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad.
Lots of laughs.
So-
Thank you.
Let me ask you a question. Terry Wages, can you hear me?
Hey, Terry, yes.
When you were growing up, and this is also for Rocky and Jimmy, when you were growing up, did you find that you was a comedian in the classrooms and that's kind of led you to become a comedian? Or did at some point in time, people just said, you're really funny, you ought to take that up seriously?
Jim, do you want to go? Rocky, you guys can go. I've been going first.
Go ahead, Patty. You go. Ladies first. Or you didn't think you don't got nothing? You want me to go?
No, I got.
No, go ahead, honey. I'm kidding.
Well, my therapist and I talked about this. No, I think that I'm not alone with. I think there are a lot of comics who were probably disruptive in class. more, more than anything, but not so much a class comic because there's, there's a formula and, character development. But I would say, I would make sarcastic comments throughout class. I often got check marks for lack self-control, talks too much in class. I think Billy Crystal has a great story, like a line about this. The class clown and the class comic are two different things. The class clown, in the 70s, I guess you would streak naked across a football field. The class comic was the one that talked him into doing it.
Thank you.
I would say that defines me pretty well.
Yeah.
I got others in trouble.
I think that when I knew that when I was making the teacher laugh, not just the class, because usually the teacher would get mad if you disrupted the class. But I think because she used to send the bad kids to the office, she would just tell me to go in the hall for a little while, which was a bad idea because I'm in the hall thinking of new jokes to do, like I'm coming back, going to do, hey, second show, and but it was more fun than disruptive. I wasn't trying to be bad, but the one thing that sticks out clearly in my head that I was probably about 8 or 9 years old, and I was at my sister's wedding. And back then they had live bands at weddings. Do you remember that? You would have a live band there, So if you wanted to request the song, like you would go up, give them a couple dollars. They had a little tip jar up there and request songs. Well, I kept going up. I was going around to all the adults getting money. And I kept going up telling the band, the bride wants to hear Batman. And I kept going up. I was getting them to play Rawhide and the Green Hornet, like just shows from that time that were just. And everybody's looking around, go, why does the bride want to, go, she wants to hear Batman again. So I kind of had the band playing all these goofy songs that they normally, until the adults figured it out. And then they grabbed me and I got in trouble for that, but it was fun for a while,
That's awesome. Jimmy?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, when I first started, my biggest breakthrough basically came in high school. And I went to a Catholic grammar school, co-ed, but when I went to high school, it became all boys Catholic high school. So it certainly didn't want to embarrass yourself in front of any girl because you might think hey, I want to ask her out or something like that. But once I got into all boys Catholic high school, the gloves were off. And so I would make fun of people. We had, I think we all had people in our class that we would probably think were much funnier than us. But there was a bunch of jokesters. And that was the case, just like Rocky said. I would crack up a joke and the other people would be laughing and they would get sent down to the office and I'm the one who's making them laugh. So it was kind of weird. They would get sent down to the office and I would just sit there. So yeah, we got away with a lot of stuff. I guess back in high school, I was the third one to go to the high school. So my brothers kind of trudged the path for me. So I had a little more latitude to get away with stuff that I probably wouldn't have gotten away with if I was a new kid on the block. So yeah, high school was the impetus for me to kind of shine a little bit and be a little bit more mouthy. And that led to me being at least, and plus the other thing was I had a speech class in high school. And if it wasn't for speech class, I don't think I would have ever had the nerve to get in front of people and talk. So the speech class brought you over that, and you had to do a speech. So we're all in the same boat. So whether you were nervous or not, you had to go through it. And the one thing that was kind of interesting for me, at least, all the speeches that I did, we probably did 5 or 6 speeches, they all had humor involved. So that was my fallback. And I found that if you could make people laugh during a speech, whether it was a demonstration speech or whatever, people would listen. Everybody enjoys laughter. So that was kind of the impetus for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know how they say laughter's contagious? I was just thinking about this last night. I really think it is because we ever watching a movie and you're laughing, right? You're laughing but you missed what they said, right? And then your friend's laughing and you ask him, you go, what did they say? And he goes, I don't know. I'm like, then what are you laughing for? You ever have that happen? Like, that's like I don't know. Here's a crazy story. Your career in comedy is such a roller coaster. I got to do the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. They pick you up in a limousine. They give you, you have your own dressing room. They treat you unbelievably great. And, I got a standing ovation. It really helped my career. And literally about 4 days after that, I was doing a gig up in the mountains in Pennsylvania, and it was for it was their friends. It was my friend's parents. It was their 50th anniversary. So a lot of these people were older. They were in their 70s. And I get off the air, ball cap at night, but they were already sitting there in this fire hall for like 2 hours waiting for me. So
Oh, God.
I land and they go, come on, we got to get to the show. And I go, I got to change. So I'm in some lady's basement outside of Pittsburgh. She's ironing my shirt and I'm washing my head in her basement sink. And I go, I was on a Tonight Show a week ago. I'm in a limo.
Yeah.
Now I'm in somebody's basement washing my head, going to do a show in a fire hall. So kind of our lives.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a meeting in a few minutes at 1, so I'm going to jump off, everybody. I don't know if
Bye.
Bye.
bye
Thank
everyone.
Thank
See
you.
you,
so much.
Patty.
Patty, thank you so
Talk to you
much.
later.
My
I gotta
pleasure.
go. I gotta go too. I gotta put pants on. It's getting chilly in here.
Till we meet again, everyone.
Okay.
Be well, be happy, be safe.
Good.
Thanks.
Take care.
I'll call you later,
Bye.
Patty.
Sounds
Bye,
good.
guys.
Bye.
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 Look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Well,
Bless you,
certainly,
everybody.
I hope this brought a little bit of levity. I just love these three, but all of the comics that I've worked with, especially in this troupe. And at some point in the future, when we are all returning to live, I'd love to have them back here for Rotary. It would be a grand night, and all we have to do is sell tickets to everybody so that more people can laugh. And this is truly something that, depending on what you love music-wise or what you love dance-wise, everybody loves to laugh. And this is where a 6-year-old to a 96 can all be at the same thing, laughing and asking each other, what did he say? Because I was laughing too hard at the joke before. But thank you for these three that were on today, and thank you for being part of this.
Thank you, Larry.
Well, yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you, Larry, for organizing this.
Yeah, it was,
And laughter is all the more important during a refreshing change of pace. So I laughed a lot, I got to admit. So super deal, Larry. Thanks again. And thank you, Jim. You're still on, it looks like.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Next week, we are going to have a presentation. Bill Fiander, who is the Planning and Development Director for the City of Topeka. There is a plan coming down the pike for development of kind of what I'd say the northern part of the downtown up to the river. He's going to talk about that, and our Constitution Hall and the Rotary Pocket Park are right at the heart. So Grant's actually going to introduce it, and Grant's been very involved in both the Rotary Pocket Park and Constitution Hall. So he's going to tie that all together for us, and then we'll hear from Bill about some of these development plans. So an important meeting for Topeka's future. So I hope you can tune in for that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and do the 4-way test. Join if you want to. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun and
kind?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next Thursday, if not sooner. Have a safe and healthy week and weekend. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you very much.
Thanks,
Have a great weekend.
everybody.
Appreciate it.
If I knew how to turn this off, I would.